We're now here towards the end of the course here today, and we are doing our mastering. Now we have bounced that stem, that entire session you just saw, the pre-mix, now into our pre-master. Everything's mixed here, ready to go. So I've finalized where we want to be. So what we need to look for now is, does everything feel right? Because you guys can go back to the other session anytime. You know that. So if there's something wrong mix-wise, just go back and do it there. But if we feel all right about this, now we can start mastering. The first thing I like to do, and side note, I'm going to try to keep a gain tool here to keep things level during the video, just so it's not peaking out too much, it's not too loud. First thing I like to do is very light compression. As you guys seen, we did touch on some compression here and there, but I'm not overdoing this here on the end stages. I'm just putting it on our mastering here, and I'm doing very, very light threshold. So let's just go to the drop here for the moment. Lightest amount there. Right under that, I put the Q2, and I'm going to do a couple instances of this. So let's now go to the Q. And what I like doing, not rolling the low end off, I want to actually go down to side mode and right click and then go to side. This is going to wipe out everything to the left will be in mono. So the whole record's in mono there. I'm between 1 and 200 hertz, I'm going to put it at. And we can hear over here what's going on. All of that information there is in mono. Now I'm going to tighten up my mid-range. So let's double click and go down to mids. And I did push the high end a touch to the side. That's giving my chords in my mid bass more punch by that lightest bit. Again, we can zoom in, guys. Let's go extra large to check this out. If you look to my right, I'm about a dB or so, not even. I'm just below a dB. I'll go a little further. This is the slightest bit, you know, very, very minimal amount, but it goes a long way. Now I'm going to keep my metering on over here. Let's talk about our metering as we're going. I'm always watching my LUFS. I want to be between -14 and up for Spotify. If I'm going more for a club record, -8 to -6. Let's go with a clean master today. Let's shoot between -10 to -14 right here. So let's start bringing this up. Let's see what we can get into here. Now, multiband, I've definitely done on my master. If you guys actually take a look at the multiband settings they have for you, there's a couple things in here that could definitely help that I recommend. One being the narrow band. This can tighten things up in your mid-range. I talked briefly earlier about the mid-range being oversaturated. This might sound a little off. See how it gives that hollow feeling? I generally would do that about 1K to 5K sometimes. Right in here, not too hard on it though. I don't want to take everything out of there, but as I said earlier, there's so much information going on in the record there that a multi-band slight bit in that range, the frequency range, will go a good way to clean up the record. And as I said, I want to do another instance of the Q2, but I want to do it in stereo mode. So let's open that up again. And I don't like doing a ton of stuff in one Q2. I like opening up another instance. Right about 22 hertz, 23. I'm going to do a harsh cut because we can't hear anything in here, but we will feel it in a club setting. You can see there's a good amount of information, but we're not hearing that right now. Same thing up here, the 20,000 hertz, 220K. I can't really hear any of this at all, but I know it's going to be felt at certain points. This stuff we can't hear. This we can feel in a club mono setting. It's that low rumble and in that tight booth monitor speakers you guys will feel. So that cleans things up, even though we're not noticing it right now. And I like doing a cut on the high end and a little bit of a shelf. So it's got that boxy low end. You know, we push it too far. I like that thump boxy low end sometimes. Okay, let's now push it further. And now we can definitely, we could definitely apply Saturn. This is something I like doing too. Underneath my compression settings I've done. Sometimes I'll go to a gentle saturation that we've been talking about to kind of warm things up throughout the entire spectrum here. So let's bring this down around 40 hertz and below. I don't really need to mess with that. Right here is where we need to focus. And you can tell we're getting louder, -12. That's kind of where I want to be for this record, for maybe a Spotify stream or Apple. That's where they're going to normalize it and do the playback for you guys at a -14. So if you want to be clean and have dynamics, don't push it up further than that, because they cannot repair that track that's got no dynamics, that you squashed and ruined. So if it's lower and they pull it up a bit, it's going to maintain with its breath, its air, its freedom. It's got room to the track. Okay, this is going to come up a bit more. Let's see where this is at. Yeah, we're sitting in -14. Now I want to check what's going on with my limiting, the Pro L, to throw that on at the end. I want to understand, am I pushing stuff too far in the red? Is stuff getting squashed by overcompression? I shouldn't be getting a ton of red in here. I should have some room. So what I like going to is transparent, and let's see where we're at. Now that I'm pushing that, I can back off the drive. So I don't generally want this. It's going to be pretty loud here. By no means do I want that, guys. So the peak's sitting at a 0. That's good. I want about a -14 sweet spot here. We're right where we want to do that. If I take this gain off, this is going to jump a bit higher. So about -10. That's a good sweet spot to be, guys. Like, it does depend what you're producing the song for. I make strict club tracks that I don't submit to Spotify. So in that circumstance, I'll push the RMS way higher. I'll be pushing the RMS to a -5, -6, because I need it to be as loud and clean as possible for the club setting. But if I'm producing a record just for Spotify, by all means, clean is better. A little lower, right in the sweet spot of -14. That's where you need to be. So now what I'll do is right-click and create a master track. We have our master here. And what I want to do is go to our Q2, the one in the beginning, which I believe was the first one we used. And I can just hit right to open this up to get it going. Let me just play this real quick. And that just opens up an automation channel for us right here. And what I like doing is automating in the buildup for this to go down further to mono. So you'll notice when I open the plugin up, and let's also open up the frequency there. Just make sure this is level to where it was. At about 166, I think we had it. Let's just level that back out. And I want to pinch it tighter, just in the build-up. Maybe the 4 bars there. Let's see where this goes now. Let's go to maybe 300. That's probably the sweet spot as far as I want to go. And if you guys want to hear it exaggerated, right? Kind of cool to go more mono with it. So I like something like that. So I'll apply that to all my builds and drops. So I'll just go to measure 17, draw this in, and now I can just copy paste what I did over to 65 at drop 2. So we just bring that there, hit copy. All right, so I'm liking where that's sitting. Meter-wise, I'm right where I want to be. Keep that in mind, guys, as you're mastering. Metering is so important. Everything I've gone over from this section to section being balanced, light compression, all the stages we've gone through. But that is it for today's course, guys. That's mixing and mastering completely start to finish here with FabFilter plugins. Incredible plugins. Make sure you add them to your computer and use them. They're incredible. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.